Alright guys, this Friday's Forsaken update just got even bigger, including major new lore reveals, potential skin variants, and much more. Let's get into it! Now that we officially know the Azure update is releasing this Friday on July 17th, Forsaken has revealed even more than we originally expected. Alongside the brand new LMS between Azure and Time, players have started uncovering a huge amount of hidden lore explaining exactly what happened between both characters before the events of Forsaken. The LMS itself tells the story through a series of illustrated images. It begins with Elder Amra protecting a young Time before we see Time collecting firewood deep in the forest. While gathering wood, they spot a mysterious creature hiding nearby, which turns out to be Azure. This is the first time the two meet after a long time apart, and they eventually become close friends, spending their time exploring and studying together. However, one detail quickly stands out. Above Azure is a thought bubble showing an open gate, hinting that something isn't right within the Spawn cult. Soon after, Azure discovers a hidden basement filled with the bodies of dead Robloxians that are being stored as food. Horrified by what he finds, Azure confronts Time and tries to expose Elder Amra's secret, but Time refuses to believe him. From there, everything falls apart. Azure is later shown standing alone in a field, furious and isolated before another illustration reveals him lying dead on the ground with a shocked expression. Standing above him, Time desperately prays to the Spawn for forgiveness, shaking in fear over what has happened. Because of these scenes, many players now believe Elder Amra secretly practiced cannibalism as part of the Spawn cult, which completely changes how people view the character. One of the illustrations has even been compared to the famous monkey and lion meme because of its pose. The lore doesn't stop there either. Players also discovered a hidden website called Aspen's Lastreth, where an unknown detective has been documenting the mysterious disappearances of Robloxians around Reborn. At first, many believed this detective was actually Azure because one of the reports mentions someone whose job is collecting firewood, pointing directly toward Time. Others thought it could be Jane Doe or even investigator Iris. However, later entries seem to confirm his Detective Iris investigating the case. The reports identify several members of the Spawn village, with individual A believed to be Time, individual B believed to be Elder Amra, and individual C believed to be Azure, who served as the village herbalist. The latest report even places Iris close to where Azure and Time were talking in the woods before she flees to continue her investigation. Another mysterious line also mentions that to buy 2 is the essence of all Robloxians, leaving players wondering what it truly means. On top of all that, the developers also revealed the pre-Forsaken designs for both Azure and Elder Amra. Azure's original appearance could easily become a milestone skin or even a purchasable skin after the update releases. Meanwhile, Elder Amra's appearance will probably be completely different in-game, as we still haven't seen the new design, but with them most likely becoming an NPC, it will allow us to finally see what became of the cult leader after their horrifying secrets were exposed. It's great to see Forsaken expanding its story this much. Characters that were once surrounded by mystery are finally receiving proper development, which will likely keep happening with major updates. Are you excited to experience this on Friday? One feature that a huge number of players have been asking for recently is skin variants, and it's actually something one of the developers, Isaac, has mentioned wanting to add to Forsaken in the future. Instead of constantly buying completely new skins, players would finally be able to progress and upgrade the ones they already own. Since many people have favorite skins they never want to replace, having variants would give those skins much more replayability while rewarding players for continuing to use them. A perfect example of how this could work is Mafioso. Even though it's one of the older skins in the game and used to be incredibly popular, it has slowly been forgotten over time because it hasn't received many updates or much attention. However, Shingu recently made an amazing concept set of milestone variants that show exactly how skin progression could look. The base version starts as the Mafioso we already know, but each milestone slowly builds on his appearance. At Milestone 1, he begins wearing more watches and gold chains. By Milestone 2, he upgrades to a much larger suit alongside a pocket watch and a brand new scarf. Milestone 3 expands on that even further, giving him even more chains, belts, and an even larger scarf. Finally, at Milestone 4, Mafioso becomes completely iced out with expensive watches, gold chains, belts, and accessories covering almost every part of his outfit. Because Mafioso's entire personality revolves around money and showing off his wealth, this progression feels incredibly natural. Some players have even joked that the higher his milestone becomes, the more jewelry he should wear until he's carrying so much gold that it actually starts slowing down his movement. This type of system could also breathe new life into many older skins that players rarely use anymore. Instead of only grinding characters, you'd also have a reason to level up your favorite skins. We've already heard Isaac mention ideas for alternate subject 1 variants, while many players also want similar treatment for Blooded and several other skins across the game. Skin variants could become one of the biggest long-term progression systems Forsaken has ever added. Not only would they make older skins relevant again, but they'd also give players another reason to keep grinding long after they've completed everything else. Would you want to see skin variants finally added to Forsaken? The idea revolves around Noli and one of his abilities. Endoran showed Noli using his M1 against Guest, but creating a fake animation that baited Guest into wasting his block ability. Many fans believe it would fit Noli's character perfectly. Since Noli is known for being a trickster, having the ability to fake out opponents seems like a natural extension of his playstyle. Others simply think it would be hilarious to watch Guest players waste their block because they got tricked by a fake attack animation. Some players have also argued that Guest's rework have made him one of the strongest sentinels in the game, meaning having a counterplay option isn't necessarily a bad thing. However, not everyone is convinced. One of the biggest criticisms is that the feature appears to exist almost entirely to counter a single survivor. Many players are questioning why Noli would receive a mechanic specifically designed to punish guests, rather than receiving a larger rework that benefits him across all matchups. Others have pointed out that if the feature were added, it shouldn't be limited to guests alone. Instead, they believe it could potentially work against other survivors by baiting out their abilities as well. There are also questions about how useful it would actually be in practice. Others think the concept would be far more interesting if it was tied to Void Rush or another ability rather than being attached to a basic M1 attack. With all of these anime-inspired skins starting to appear in Forsaken, like the brand new Nosferatu skin and several other references already in the game, players have started sharing even more concepts that would fit the game perfectly. One of the biggest fan favorites is a Chainsaw Man-inspired skin created by Slab, and honestly, it looks like something that could already be an official Slasher skin. The concept transforms Slasher into Machete Man, giving him 2 large machetes while still keeping Slasher's overall appearance recognizable. The design even changes his Necrobloxicon, and whenever Raging Pace is activated, his eyes begin glowing, making the skin feel far more intimidating. It's clear that a huge amount of effort went into recreating the character while still making it fit naturally inside Forsaken. Players have even begun imagining a matching Survivor skin to go alongside it. With a fan concept having Guest's counterpart based on Kishib, that should have a custom kill animation if it ever releases. With it taking inspiration from Fujimoto's Captain America artwork, with Guest turning into a devilish patriot. Instead of using his fists when punching, he actually would use a rifle that functions the same way, and he uses his head as a shield while charging, and even has unique animations and visual effects that activate as he loses health. Seeing concepts like these makes it feel as though they're already part of the game. With Forsaken continuing to add skins based on popular references in anime, would this much creativity deserve a chance to become official? So these are much needed things that this update will likely get. What excites you most about this update? Subscribe and hit the bell for more Forsakening it.